So you've probably heard about the Grenfell Tower fire, and I'm sure that you are in complete agreement with literally everyone say this was a terrible tragedy, and there is a good chance that it probably shouldn't have happened. We don't know, because we haven't had the inquiry yet, which Theresa May has announced today, in fact. So, looking forward to finding out what the cause of that was. Actually, I don't really care. It's not, as far as I can tell, it's not a political issue. Or at least it shouldn't be. It looks like it was a tragedy. There may be some corporate malfeasance involved. I'm sure the people who are responsible can be fined, can be tried, can be investigated, can be... whatever the requisite legal action is to take against these people can be taken. And unfortunately, we'll just have to move on with our lives because, as far as I can tell, this seems to have just been an accident, right? Wrong. This is a politicizable tragedy that, indeed, you should jump on. And who's jumping on it? Oh, that's fucking right. Jeremy Corbyn supporters. In fact, Jeremy Corbyn himself. This pissed me off. So, 2 images have gone viral. This one of Theresa May talking to the fire service, and presumably listening to what their concerns are and their complaints are, and presumably dealing with the situation as the Prime Minister probably should, compared to Jeremy Corbyn giving everyone a fucking cuddle. Well, that's lovely, Jeremy. I'm sure they needed you to give them cuddles. Big, warm, friendly cuddles. Uncle Jeremy is here. Don't worry, everything will be fine. By the way, people are going on about Corbyn giving everyone hugs and attention and special feels. You'd think that Corbyn was there all day, just doling out the love and the happiness and really the backbone, the pillar of the community. The fuck he was. He was there for half an hour, and then he fucked off. And then you've got lunatics going, this is unforgivable. Local Labour MP vents fury over Grenfell Tower fire. Well, dude, point to the culprit. And then you've got another Labour MP, David Lammy. This was a monstrous crime. There must be arrests after Grenfell Tower. It wasn't a terrorist attack. Not that you ever go on about things like this after a terrorist attack. You always go, oh, but what about the bigots? But never mind, don't worry about it, dude. If the preventable deaths of people burning in their homes are not a matter for the state, then what is? Do we know they were preventable? Are we sure? Have you had the inquiry already, David? Don't let them tell you it's a tragedy. It's not a tragedy, it's a monstrous crime. Corporate manslaughter. They were warned by residents that there was an obvious risk of catastrophe. They looked the other way. We don't need another review kicked into the long grass and years of equivocation. What a civilized country should demand is arrests and a criminal trial before a judge and jury. Great thinking, David. You know what we need to do? Don't even worry about the trial. Don't worry about the inquiry. Don't worry about finding out exactly what happened. Don't worry about any of that. I'm sure you know exactly who to hang. So let's just break out the rope. He's like, if past disasters have taught us anything, it's that things change only when powerful people are put in the dock. So for the sake of the victims, call it what it is, a crime of the most horrendous kind. Again, I'm with you if there was some malfeasance. I'm completely with you. If someone had deliberately done something wrong, I'm completely on board with this, let's get those people in the dock and let's get them to pay for this. Absolutely. And yeah, the poor people who have found themselves out of house and home, probably lost relatives, lost friends, lost family, yeah, they should be compensated by the companies that took the actions that led to this disaster. But let's not just leap to conclusions because we simply don't know what caused this. And I certainly don't agree with Jeremy Corbyn that the state should appropriate the properties of people living in the area simply because some people have been made homeless by fire. Why would you even fucking think that was an appropriate thing to suggest? But what's even worse is that David Lammy and Harriet Harman are completely on board with the state just appropriating, just seizing people's property. Oh, you have a house near there. Guess what you don't have there anymore? You know what we were saying about capital flight? Do you know what makes the rich flee a country faster than anything else? That's right, the state seizing their fucking property. Again, just look at Venezuela. Just look at Venezuela. That's exactly what happened there, you fucking lunatics. You can't just sit there and go, you know what, there's been a terrible disaster. This is rich people's fault. Therefore, we're going to start taking your property. Even if they're fucking rich, you can't just take their stuff. God, you're such totalitarians. Everyone's going on about how Corbyn went and gave everyone cuddles, and May was like, well, I visited the scene of the terrible fire this morning. I wanted a briefing from the emergency services. They've been working tirelessly in horrific conditions. Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Jeremy Corbyn's giving some woman a hug. That's more important. He's the comrade of feels. That's what it is. Apparently, critics are demanding answers on why expert advice that sprinklers should be made compulsory in tall buildings had not been followed. It is thought that 4,000 tower blocks across the country do not have sprinklers. Hey, that's a really good question. I absolutely think they should have sprinklers, and I think they should be installed at the expense of the companies who set these towers up. Absolutely. But you know what I don't think we should do? Find people in the local area and just start appropriating their property, even if they happen to be billionaires. I still don't think you should appropriate their fucking property on the whim of Jeremy Corbyn going, you know what, this has really hurt my feels, and so I've decided your property rights don't matter. In fact, you have to give them up. The state's just going to appropriate it. It's not even that they're fucking asking these people who own these houses, is it okay if we use your house? I mean, would you be prepared to do some sort of charity to take in these people who've just been made homeless from a tragedy? I mean, who the fuck is going to say no to that? Who is going to say no to this? But apparently it doesn't matter because Comrade Corbyn is just going to take it. I just can't believe anyone thinks this guy is the right choice. He's a totalitarian in waiting. You know that, right? I mean, he is absolutely a totalitarian in waiting. And he'll justify everything as, well, it seemed like the right thing to do. You know, oh, well, I know that my activists are putting bricks through the windows of rival Labour MPs and stuff, but, I mean, it seemed like the right thing to do. Well, I know that it's wrong to start appropriating people's property because I don't know anything about these people, and it's not my property to just simply take. I do recall something about Magna Carta in the back of my mind, but, you know what, it just felt right to do it. What could possibly go wrong, Corbyn? What could possibly go wrong? You fucking lunatic. And I love that he's been like, the truth has got to come out. Yeah, I think that's the purpose of the inquiry, isn't it? Is that not what the whole idea is? I mean, addressing a resident who said the investigation must not be kicked into the long grass, Corbyn said, I will speak up for you because we have got to get to the bottom of this. The truth has got to come out, and it will. Yeah, I hope so too, Jeremy. Everyone wants the fucking truth. What are you doing? This isn't like... I mean... The way that this is being framed is like the Conservatives have done this and are trying to cover this up. I don't think that's very fair, Jeremy. I think you may have been in campaign mode for a bit too long there, don't you? Don't you think that? And the irony is that I bet a lot of the people whose property you would end up expropriating are probably Labour voters, probably Champagne Socialists. I mean, hell, I'd start with Lily Allen's house if I were you. Make her actually live up to the... make her actually walk the walk instead of just talking the talk. And the thing is, right, people take a shit on the Daily Mail for being just a right-wing, lowbrow rag, but you can't fault the morality of the people involved. They might be rich, but they didn't cause the fire, so why should Big Brother Corbyn even suggest they should have their houses seized, stolen from them? I agree. I completely agree. The idea that they should have any of their property requisitioned is bizarre. I mean, this isn't a state of war. Just put them up in hotels at the expense of the state. I don't even care. Put them up in fucking hotels around the place. I mean, at least just people can volunteer to take them in. Unless there are no Labour supporters who are going to volunteer to take them in. I mean, where's the charity chaps? Come on. Just... Fucking hell, Corbyn, you are just the worst. You are the worst.